Okay, so I think that we are ready to start. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Horizon Results Booster webinar. My name is Athina Pantelidou, and I'm Policy Assistant in the Dissemination Exploitation team of Unit RTT G6, which is the unit that manages Horizon Results Booster. Today, I will be your host, and apologies, I have an issue. Okay, I cannot move my slide.
Should I share the presentation?
I will, yes, please, Olivia. Okay, so Horizon Results Booster is a service and initiative that is offered by the European Commission to the beneficiaries, and the aim is to improve your exploitation potential, to help you implement your dissemination exploitation strategy, increase your dissemination and valorizing your research, and widening your access to the market, policymakers, and the society. Next slide, please. Horizon Results Booster comprises the previous one. Yes, thank you. Horizon Results Booster comprises of a set of 3 tailor-made support services that they are totally free of charge. These services include clustering of R&I projects in a portfolio of similar or complementary project results, the development of exploitation potential, and improving the access to market. These services briefly are the Portfolio Dissemination Exploitation Strategy, the business plan development, and go-to-market that will be later on explained in detail. Next slide, please. So some useful links where you can find more information about Horizon Results Booster in the Founding and Tenders portal, in the dedicated website Horizon Results Booster platform, and you can always contact us via email. Next slide, please. So briefly, the agenda for today's webinar. As you can see, we have organized for you many sessions regarding the different services of Horizon Results Booster, together with very interesting testimonials. So stay with us. And at the end of this webinar, we're going to have a dedicated Slido Q&A session. So next slide, please. So join Slido. Put your questions there, and we will try to answer them at the end of the webinar. So now, without further ado, I would like to present you Alessia Melaseke-Germini, CEO of Meta Group and service provider of Horizon Results Booster. Alessia, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Athina. My name is Alessia, and I work for Meta Group, which is the leading partner of the consortium providing the HRB services. I'm sharing my screen now. Please confirm that this is okay.
Perfect. Yes, this is good.
So we can start. So my pleasure to introduce you the rules of the game connected to the Horizon Results Booster initiative. As Athina just presented, please ask your questions through Slido, and there are colleagues which are working there to reply in written to your questions. And then do not forget to like questions that other colleagues have already posed, so there will be a final ranking, and of course we will follow the ranking to answer lively the questions at the end of this webinar. As you know very well, transforming the research results which are gathered through EU-funded projects and produce concrete benefits for the society is a must, and this could be done thanks to successful dissemination and exploitation activities. why this should happen, because I mean, it's a contractual obligation with the commission signing the grant agreement, but it's of, you know, to add value to your team and your organization as well, because successful D&E activities can pave the way to various tangible benefits, like providing international and interdisciplinary collaboration opportunities, contributing to societal goals, attracting new talents, improving access to further funding, generating new sources of income, and improving as well current or helping to shape future legislation. Horizon Results Booster, so is the initiative of the GRDD, which aims to maximize the impact of research funded by FP7, Horizon 2020, and Horizon Europe. Projects are eligible to apply if they're ongoing or if they are closed, no matter, and they should be directly funded by the European Commission, or they could be indirectly funded, like through EIT initiatives, joint undertakings, and similar initiatives. Services are delivered to eligible projects completely free of charge, because the initiative is fully supported and backed by the European Commission. Services can be requested by applicants à la carte from the list when completing the application form, and HRB will provide you with the tools and methodologies and will appoint a team of experts that will act as facilitators. Please bear in mind that experts are not going to substitute you in your work, but they are going to support your actions. All the services happen remotely and are delivered through virtual means. We have 3 different categories of services that we can offer you. Service 1, Portfolio Dissemination and Exploitation Strategy, divided in 3 submodules. Service 2, Business Plan Development. Service 3, Go-to-Market. As you can see from the slide, dissemination and exploitation and go-to-market services can be run in parallel, because different teams will be appointed to deliver the services, and you will know more from the colleagues and the experts that are going to present during this webinar. So we have Service 1, Module A and B, which are connected to dissemination services, and we have Service 1, Module C, Service 2, BPD, and Service 3, Go-to-Market, which are exploitation and go-to-market related. Each service has different ways of course, accessing. All the services are structured in a way they are delivered, but customized in the content to match specific project needs. Why should project benefit from HRB services? Because achieving impact and long-term sustainability activity depends much on dissemination and exploitation strategies and action. And our experience demonstrates that very often there is a wrong identification of key exploitable results. There could be confusion in between customers and users, different type of stakeholders. Use model is not so easy to be identified. So it's important to dedicate the right effort and time to exploitation uptake of research results. And it's very important to know that wrong basics generate wrong strategies. Therefore, it's better to approach this topic as soon as possible. Better if supported by knowledgeable experts that can facilitate your process, that can guide you through the path. How can projects apply? Application is public and open to anyone eligible. Actually, each application is evaluated as a standalone. So this is not a competitive type of procedure. It's very straightforward. You can submit your application through the Horizon Results Booster platform website and fill the application directly online. Please bear in mind that it is possible to apply to the current HR Booster initiative till the 7th of May 2024, and service implementation will be completed by the 7th of November 2024. But how it goes? So beneficiaries first have to register on the HRB platform to submit the application. You just need to provide your name, surname, organization, and email, and you will act as the applicant for your project or your project group. Then when you start filling in the application, you need to provide project ID, grant agreement number, name and email, of course, of the applicant, of the project coordinator, name and email of the PO. If you it's a closed project and you don't know, you cannot recall the name of your PO, you just need to go back to the funding and tender portal, and you have the information shared in the dashboard connected to the specific project. Applicants are getting 4 notifications from the HRB platform: when they register, when the application is successfully submitted, when the application is approved, likely, or rejected, unlikely, by the Commission, when the service delivery team is approved by the Commission, and you will have the names of the experts listed there, and the service delivery can start. Applicants are requested to upload the description of action or a similar document or relevant documents depending on the requested services. They can save applications in draft and continue whenever they want before submitting. There are some alerts throughout the path which keeps applicants informed about their readiness for the requested service. Like, if you're going to request directly a service to business plan development, and you do not submit a draft business plan or exploitation plan, there will be an alert, and then you won't be blocked in submitting your application, but there could be, a discussion with the appointed expert to check if you are ready for that specific service, and further or earlier services can be suggested. How it goes after the submission. Eligibility of applications is verified by the HRB team at the Commission. Experts are proposed by the contractor and accepted or rejected by the EC team. The experts, once appointed, organize an introductory call to define the service delivery plan. If the experts realize that projects are not ready for the specific service or services which are requested, they can propose another service. At the end of each service delivery, there is a feedback questionnaire which is proposed to the beneficiaries to verify the effectiveness of the service delivery. Outputs, deliverables, final reports of the service are saved in the HRB platform in a dedicated workspace. Automatic email alerts are generated when the final report is uploaded in the platform. Please note, this is very important information, that each eligible project can request all the HRB services only once. Therefore, you are eligible to request from Service 1 Module A, so the very first one, till the Service 3 go-to-market, all the services, but only once. And therefore, this needs to be as well agreed within the consortium. The application can be submitted by the coordinator, but can be submitted as well by the, usually what happens is that is the Work Package Dissemination and Exploitation leading partner, or it could be even an interested partner, which is the main case if we look at the closed projects. So please bear in mind that all the project partners are eligible to request the services, but because they can be requested only once, there should be somehow an agreement within the consortium. Then service delivery is for the whole consortium or interested partners. This is up to the beneficiaries to decide who should be on board. When the application is approved, automatically a dedicated workspace is created in the HRB platform, and the first access is only for the applicant. Then the applicant can invite to join the workspace and the service delivery the colleagues, the partners, the interested, other interested stakeholders, taking as well the responsibility on the confidentiality, because of course all the people that are invited to the service delivery will have access to all the documents and the information. All the experts and the management team, each individual which is for any reason involved in the HRB management and service delivery, signed an NDA which has been approved by the European Commission, so we are all binded to all the levels of confidentiality. What happens during the service delivery? We try to make a sort of estimation of your time commitment, collaborating with the experts when services are delivered. As I explained at the very beginning, this is a collaborative process. It's meant to be a learning experience for the beneficiaries, working with the experts, using tools and methodologies to approach dissemination, exploitation, and go-to-market activities. Therefore, we try to make an estimation. So for Service 1 Module A, which is a pretty fast service in the delivery, it's around 1 equivalent working day, so around 8 hours spread multiple days on the side of the beneficiaries. Service 1 Module B, which is more complex, so you will know more about the different type of services by the colleagues in a few minutes. It's from 2 to 4 equivalent working days, depending on the training packages selected. Service 1 Module C, BPD, and the different go-to-market, it could be arranged from 3 to 10 equivalent working days, depending on the level of maturity of the project. Time commitment by project partners to HRB services could be reported in project timesheets. Just a few numbers to complete my presentation and then to give the floor to the first expert. So numbers are updated as of today. So currently we have 224 experts actively involved in the service delivery, 1,351 projects, 1,600 assignments. This is because, as I explained earlier, one project can request more than one service, more than 3,600 beneficiaries, and more than 9,100 organizations. We can work and support all the different funding schemes. Here in the slide, you have the numbers and the different schemes that we are supporting so far. So you can go from the ERC and the Marie Curie till the EIC, all the SME instrument, and of course, the majority of them, as you can see, are research and innovation action, innovation actions, and coordination and support actions. No matter the topic, no matter the funding scheme, the important is that your funding comes from FP7, H2020, Horizon Europe, as I was just presenting. Now, my pleasure to give the floor to the first experts, Nicholas Ferguson from Trust IT, one of the partners of the HRB consortium, which is going to present you Service 1 Module A and Module B, and then will introduce as well his testimonial project. Nick, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Alessia. Thank you for the introduction, and good morning, everyone. My name is Nick Ferguson. I hope you can see my screen. I believe you can. Yes. I'm a senior project manager and shareholder with a company called Trust IT Services. We're an SME based in Pisa in Italy, and we focus on and we concentrate on delivering dissemination and communications support to projects, and we also specialize in coordinating projects. And we deliver the main 2 dissemination modules with another organization called Icons, who are also based in Italy and also have a similar kind of background and expertise. And in today's presentation, I'm going to also be joined by Professor Francisca de Jong from Utrecht University, I'm going to be talking to her about one of these dissemination services, which we delivered for her project. Okay, so basically in my presentation, I'd like to give you a summary of the dissemination modules, and then give you some practical examples of how we deliver HRB, so the dissemination services. So we'll be taking 3 different examples of different types of projects and showing you how we've provided support to them. We'll then look in the modules, the 2 dissemination modules, in a bit more detail, and then we'll have the Q&A with Francisca, where we'll delve deeply into this one particular use case. Okay, so why would you want to apply for a dissemination module, and who are the types of projects which do? So really the objective of the dissemination modules are to encourage projects to work together and collaborate. So many description of actions that you may already have in either Horizon Europe or Horizon 2020 often focus on the importance of collaborating with other projects which perhaps have similar objectives or even funded under the same call. And this is often a commitment for projects, the type of projects which Alessia just described, and a contractual obligation. And these 2 dissemination modules can help your project to actually concretely deliver on joint dissemination activities and spark, we hope, collaboration and synergies which could then go further and beyond the dissemination to perhaps also future proposals. So we're really interested in offering support and providing practical input to support your project to create synergies with other projects. All types of projects, as Alessia's just said, can apply for these services. Both Horizon 2020 and Horizon Europe funded projects. And we have a wide range of different types of projects which we have supported. And in the examples I give, we'll focus on a couple of these, from large projects to individual researchers. The services can run for up to 5 months. So you can see on the right of my slide in Module A, where we identify and try to form a group of projects and identify similarities between them, and create a portfolio of results by basically gathering information together and encouraging the projects to share publicly available information in a more readily form. So through a meeting, for example, or through a questionnaire. And based on this, we provide a set of recommendations and identify commonalities, be it through the key exploitable results or by identifying specific target groups that they want to, the projects could focus on. And this first service lasts for one month, and then we hope that the project then apply for a module B, which is very, very concrete type of support in terms of delivering and supporting the project to deliver on these ideas and synergies through dissemination, because obviously dissemination is a nice opportunity and in kind of a low-hanging fruit when it comes to ways in which you can collaborate with other researchers or other partners or beneficiaries from projects. So the experts deliver, so our team of experts, both at Trust IT and at Icons, have quite direct contact with the applicant project, and we're pretty active in trying to encourage other projects to join the group, and in guiding you and delivering very practical and tangible dissemination outputs in Module B, such as the organization, for example, of a webinar, the publication of the results portfolio online, or even the production of a policy brief, so that your projects are coming together, aligning and defining a set of recommendations on a specific policy challenge that could be around relevant to your project, and presenting this to the Commission in a brief document. We support the writing and the production of these. So in the next slides, I'll give some examples of how we've implemented these. And I want to just highlight something which Alessia said before. The idea is that we work for the project that's applied and the group of projects. So we are paid by the Commission to deliver these things. And the effort really is on us to deliver these items and to work with the project and the projects involved. Excuse me. So the three examples that I've identified are three very different projects. The first one, and very different research areas, because of course the HRB focuses on all types of research. The first one focuses on cementing an existing network. So here we're looking at the research area of forest wood and construction. And it's a very large group of projects. It's 18 projects. And the project Forest Value, which applied, they were interested in formalizing a collaboration with 18 other projects in having something tangible to show for this work. The next one is on the topic of cybersecurity, and this is a much smaller group, 3 projects. And the applicant project was very interested in identifying other projects which were focusing on the topic of cyber ranges. Okay, so it's quite a specialist area within the research area of cybersecurity, and they wanted to form synergies with these other projects and to carry out a joint activity with them. Again, this was something that they were committed to doing in their description of action, and through the HRB, as you'll see in a moment, they were able to really build on this and actually offer more than they had originally planned. And finally, the final topic is about broadening horizons and networks. And here we have a Marie Curie action, which was struggling to deliver on their dissemination promises. And through the collaboration with other projects, we were able to support them to reach their dissemination goals through social media activity and the organization of a webinar. So I'll go deeper into each of these examples, but as you can see, every application that comes in is taken, and the type of support which is given is extremely tailor-made to what the project and the project would like to do. So let's look at this first project group, Forest Value. As I said, this was a very large group of projects, and however, we do work with smaller groups. It could be, 10 projects, for example. But the difficulty they had was to kind of tangibly put together and account for all of the different key exploitable results which the projects that they were collaborating with had, and to identify commonalities and alignment between them. So we worked with them first in Module A in terms of getting these projects on board, organizing a meeting with them, and with so many projects that was quite challenging, but we managed to achieve this. All of the projects provided information on their key exploitable results, which we gathered together in the first Module A report, and we were able to work to identify the commonalities and pinpoint which target stakeholders were common between these projects. So that concluded Module A. We got them physically together on a phone call. We gathered together information from all of the projects, and then we provided this report to the group. Based on that, we worked with Forest Value and the other projects and decided what tangible output could we publish from this. And what we decided to do, as Forest Value was the lead project here, was to create an online catalogue of the results, so the portfolio of the results, which is an output of all of the projects together, listing the key exploitable results and putting them into different categories as well, so that they are easy to find, and there's a filterable option as well on their website now. So this was a very valuable output in terms not only for the project Forest Value, but also for the European Commission and policymakers themselves to see what has come out of these projects, which had now created this synergy. And this catalogue of results was used, it was promoted at relevant events, and also formed the basis of a policy brief where the projects aligned on a set of recommendations, which they then communicated and were able to disseminate to the European Commission and other stakeholders. Now, in each of these services, in each of these module Bs, we also always provide a flyer, so a fact sheet, which looks at the challenges that the projects are addressing, so the high-level topic, and also the main key exploitable results that the project group are producing. We also produce a video that can be used on the project websites, again, showcasing the challenges which the projects are facing and the outputs that together they're able to showcase. So this could be used on the website, this could be used on social media channels, and it's a really nice tangible set of outputs that the project and the project received. The second case was a group 3, so a much smaller group on cybersecurity, Concordia, Spider, and Foresight. And here, really, it was very important to gather these projects together. They all kind of had to work with other projects, but that had become less of a priority to their team than the other urgencies within the project. So it kind of been left behind a little bit. So thanks to our support, we obviously put together the first module, the portfolio of results, identified who they could target with joint dissemination activities, and recommended that they carried out a joint webinar. And the joint webinar we had over 120 participants. We were able to support them not only with the agenda and the actual running of the webinar, but also with live polling. So they were able to gather data during the event from the participants. And this was particularly important because they were interested in talking to SMEs and gathering needs around cyber ranges from SMEs. So not only was this a dissemination activity, it was also a way for them to get input for the work that they were carrying out. Excuse me. As a result, we were able to publish again a post-event policy brief, which highlighted the main outputs and recommendations that the webinar had brought together, and also was an opportunity for those projects to disseminate policy recommendations that they had, and to put in words in a document some of the recommendations of how SMEs could best use cyber ranges. We had 120 participants, which is not an easy thing to get. A lot of this was due to social media as well, and we were able to support the project in creating joint dissemination, Twitter cards and messaging around the event to make sure we had lots of participants. And then finally, again, we did a fact sheet, the flyer and the video as well, which were used by them. And thanks to this activity, the policy brief was actually then promoted through the cybersecurity unit and the Commission's own newsletter. So pretty high impact with this group. The final group I want to highlight is an application from a Marie Curie researcher. And she had difficulty in terms of achieving her dissemination goals. And often we find that projects maybe don't have the skill set to produce nice looking outputs or know where to start. You know, how can you run a social media campaign, for example? What's the best way to do this? So by matching this Med and Change project with two other larger projects, we were able to support the joint dissemination activities and create new partnerships, in particular with Solidarity, which was a coordination and support action, which had a much broader network. So this individual researcher was able to piggyback onto the large network which Solidarity had, and created a lot of impact for the Med and Change project in terms of the organization of a workshop and also the delivery of a social media campaign, which drew a lot more impact and people being able to have contact with the project and with its results as well. So this again was very good, nice impact for an individual researcher which was having difficulty in addressing the dissemination objectives. And we also support another example, which I don't have, is, for example, supporting a project group to go to an event, for example. So in terms of, creating a flyer that they can use for an event, or supporting them if they want to create gadgets, for example. So, branded outputs like this, branded gadgets. That's another example that we have with another project. So just to go back at what we do in these two dissemination modules. So in module A, first of all, we identify other projects which your project could collaborate with and could synergize with for the purposes of joint dissemination activities. We try to get you together on a conference call. We encourage the project to share information on dissemination activities so that you can find opportunities and carry out joint activities such as a webinar or such as a policy brief where you're providing evidence-based recommendations to the Commission. This module lasts for around 35 days, and as I said, the input or the effort from your side is really quite minimal. It's the team from Trust IT or Icons which are doing the work in identifying other projects, in getting you together, and in gathering information and providing a report. In module B, it's much more practical. We provide and set up a plan for you, with you, for you, and then we support the delivery of two of the joint dissemination activities you can see on the slide: the results portfolio, an online workshop, a webinar, social media campaign, a policy brief, or strategic support as well. And one thing I haven't mentioned is that we also have online training. So if you're wanting your members of your project or staff to improve the way that they look at dissemination, then we have online material, and very practical online material, which looks at strategy building, and also very practical things like which tools to use for creating a short video, for example, or tips on managing social media campaign, or best setting up your website. So extremely practical and impactful training, which is available online for you. As I said, all groups receive a flyer or a fact sheet and a short video as well, which you can use on your website or your social media channel. So as I said, the effort is really on us. It's our job to provide support to the project or the projects or existing groups as well. Maybe you're part of an existing set of projects who are collaborating together. We want to encourage collaboration, and dissemination is a nice opportunity to establish synergies, maybe which you already have, and to cement these, formalize these with some kind of direct action, and to encourage projects to collaborate on dissemination in general. So with that, what I'd like to do now is to ask Francisca to turn on her camera.
Hi, Nicholas. Hi, all of you.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Is the audio
How are you,
okay?
Francisca? Okay.
Yeah, I'm okay.
Yes.
I hope my voice will stay on because I'm recovering
Yes.
from a fever, but
No problem. So am I, actually. So yes, I've got this problem as well. I've got a big glass of water next to me. So Francisca, you are a professor at Utrecht University, and Clarin, and you're part of Clarin Eric as well. And we invited you on basically to hear how your project and group of projects have benefited from the Horizon Results Boosters. Would you like to just introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about the background to this topic?
yeah, okay. Well, I'm a professor at the University of Utrecht, but my main time spending there is to work for Clarin Eric. I used to be the executive director, but recently I stepped down and somebody else is now doing that part of the job. But I'm still involved in several of the projects and initiatives in Europe that fall under the header of the European Open Science Cloud. So first of all, Clarin is a research infrastructure. It's a European research infrastructure on the ESRI roadmap. It's focusing on providing access to language resources, so text and data and everything that you can associate with that. It's an ERIC, so it's an European organization with a number of members. Over 20 countries have joined that initiative. And for this particular context, it's important to mention that Clarin is one of the ERICs in the domain of social sciences and humanities. And together with the other ERICs in that domain, we were participating in a project called SHOCK, which was funded under the Infra-EOS calls of Horizon Europe. Now, I described now Clarin as a cluster. Yes, thanks for this slide. You see indeed here a SHOCK at the bottom of the list. It's in alphabetical order on the right-hand side. And Clarin is a cluster, a form of collaboration between research infrastructures in the social sciences and humanities. But there are 4 more clusters that have a similar structure and that received similar funding from the same call from in Horizon Europe. And part of our task in those projects was to, first of all, to become better aligned with the emerging European Open Science Cloud. So to make sure that services would be interoperable, etc. But one of the subtasks that we all had was to set up a model for coordinating the activities between the clusters. So 5 clusters, all with from a high level similar mission. So it was seen as important that the 5 clusters would be better aligned. So they set up a regular type of coordination meetings during the project. And that model for coordination continued after the projects were finished. So all these 5 cluster projects are now over, but the coordination model still exists. Well, maybe I should stop here before.
Yeah, that's great. No, thanks, Francisca. Excellent. So that's important background information. The importance of these projects, the commitment these projects had to collaborate, and the strategic opportunity that the projects had also identified to collaborate together, in particular around, shall we say, policy objectives, and to be disseminating how they are able to contribute to and collectively work to support the European Open Science Clouds. So as I remember it, when we first kind of encountered each other, you were facing quite a few challenges in terms of aligning the projects at the start of this. Can you tell us a little bit about those challenges you were facing?
You mean within the cluster that Claren is sitting, namely SHOC, or the wider perspective?
With the wider perspective, with in particular the projects with SHOC and PANOSC and ESCAPE, for example.
Yeah.
So you started some collaboration, but then it's often quite difficult to then continue this, isn't it?
Well, one of the maybe I should underline first that investments in research infrastructure, whether small or big, should be are slightly different from research projects, in the sense that a research project will lead to results, and these results will find their way in the academic and non-academic landscape, but it's not necessarily a structure, an organizational structure, that needs to be kept alive after the project. With research infrastructure, this is an investment for the future. You don't want the sustainability of these investments to be weak. Of course, it's hard to guarantee sustainability, but definitely it is a very important topic for infrastructural initiatives to work on. And all the projects and also all the beneficiaries within the projects, of course, are aware of this, because they are research infrastructures. They have this sustainability agenda anyhow. So what needed to be done during these 5 parallel projects was to look for a way to keep the synergy that we saw emerging, to keep that alive. And of course, the individual clusters already sort of existed, maybe in a slightly different form, but already existed before the project, and would also have an afterlife naturally because of their funding and mission and all that. But being aligned with the others and focusing on common goals and common challenges in the context of the EOSC landscape was, of course, something that required a lot of communication. Let's call it that. I mean, you need to start talking each other's language, even though you all have implicitly similar objectives, such as working on interoperability, reaching out to end users via intermediaries, etc. It was important to learn to speak each other's language and to identify common future goals. And of course, an important precondition for that is that you for those future agendas is that you can identify the funding for those future activities. And there we managed, because the first in the first month of next year, in January, a new project will start, in which these 5 clusters each have a big representation. That project is called Oscars. So we managed to sustain our identity with a form of funding that is beneficial for us, for EOSC, for the Commission, and for the end user communities of EOSC. But the process of having these coordination meetings and the communication that we needed internally, but also externally, when we come to that point now soon. Having a clear identity was an important condition to be successful in the search for future funding. well,
Wonderful. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it's exciting. So the future identities we'll come to now. So we worked with Francisca and the other projects, and one of the important things was aligning on identifying where the projects could make an impact. So that creating a common portfolio of key exploitable results, which could be then disseminated further by the group, in particular to the EOSC Association and also to the European Commission themselves. And then this work to identify who the group with this little activity could be targeting, and who this identity that they wanted to create could be disseminated to. So in Module A, we did a lot of the work with them in gathering information, and it was a good exercise in getting the projects together and then sharing information, which is very important if any type of collaboration is going to take place. Based on that, in the Module B, we then took this a step further, and as Francisca mentioned, we created a visual identity for the projects together, a name and a payoff, which focused on the fact that they were clusters coming together for the purposes of open science. And we helped to give branding around the visual identity. So as you can see, we have this has then been used in the website, which was put together, in the flyer, and also in social media material that has then been used by the group. And a very important point was identifying the main messaging behind this alliance between the project, between this cluster, and communicating this effectively through the website, through key messaging, the joint strategy, identifying and working with Francisca on the definition of a mission, and then writing a joint press release on the launch of the website, supporting the design of the website and its implementation, and then a flyer which was then used at key European Open Science Clouds events and fair data events as well. So Francisca, I'll hand back to you just for 1 minute, because our time is ticking. If you could just, I don't know, on a practical level or on the impact, what's been the biggest area where you felt the benefit of this type of support from us?
Well, even though we are strong organizations, we are loosely organized because clusters are not legal entities. So we needed to secure, especially in the post-project period, we needed to secure capacity to work on this online identity. And the fact that you could offer such a volume of support was only made possible by the grant. Otherwise, you might have been interested in doing this for us because of potential future collaboration, etc. But given the fact that you had a grant for it, made it all much more easy to do it in a solid way, to do it in such a way that we could trust that we could maintain the form that we had chosen also beyond this period. And indeed, the logo with the leaves that you see here in the circle you see 5 leaves, which is symbolic for the 5 clusters. That is now also becoming part of the logo for the new project that is being funded. But yeah, we had to sort of bridge a period of a year without real funding, so that was great. And of course, we all had our individual communication teams, but also deep down in the individual RIs, which was a bunch of more than 20 organizations. So identifying a leading party for the design and the expertise in building the website and the flyer and everything around it was great. It helped us a lot to reach to make progress in time. And now we are discoverable. We have an identity that can last for a number of years and maybe even decades. And you never know. Huh? It's unlikely, but it's not impossible. Because it's independent of the individual RIs, it's independent of project funding, and that gives us the right level of trust in the sustainability of this all.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Franziska. Thank you very much for your time and for calling in. And yeah, this is a great example of practical support, which otherwise wouldn't have been possible to achieve without the free service which the HRB can offer to these projects. So Franziska, thank you very much. What I'll do is I'll hand back over to Alessia.
Yeah.
And I'll be staying on for questions later as well at the end of the event. So thank you very much, Franziska,
Yep.
and over to you.
Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Nicholas and Franziska. And now my pleasure to give the floor to Antonello Fiorucci from Meta Group, which is going to present you Service 1 Module C and Service 2 Business Plan Development, and then introduce his testimonials. Antonello, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Alessia. Good morning, everyone. My name is Antonello Fiorucci. I'm going to share my screen. Can you see my screen? Okay. Good morning, everyone. Today, we are going to present a little bit more in detail to share some details more about the Service 1 Module C and about the Service 2, the Business Plan Development. Let's start talking about our superhero, I would say, the key exploitable results, because we will work in both services with these, together with this superhero. And basically, we have to say that during the research activities, there are a lot of results that we are going to develop, but if we want to focus on so-called key exploitable results, we must focus on two main characteristics. The first one is the fact that the key exploitable result responds to specific needs from a well-defined target group of potential adopters or customer. And secondly, this key exploitable result is selected by the partners, the consortium, for use or for being introduced on the market. Given these two main characteristics, we can say that a key exploitable result can be a lot of different things. A new product, a process, a new service format, a new policy, a new standard, and so on. Okay. What is important to underline is that a key exploitable result is not just a patent. The patent is an enabler for facilitating use by a third party of a key exploitable result, but it's not a key exploitable result itself. If this understanding is well shared about the key exploitable result, let's start sharing a little bit more on the so-called Service 1 Module C, the so-called, that we can say, friendly called DES-C. And basically, the DES-C approach is focused more on a use perspective, with a so-called problem-oriented approach. And in order to start working with DES-C, we must try to focus on the problem that we are going to address and solve better than alternative solution available on the shelf. Secondly, the idea is to increase the TRL and to somehow bridge the end of the project with a future step, with a new step, in order to face successfully lack of resources that we will face at the end of the project. And during the DSC, we will work with some key ingredients, and we will focus and we will clarify the unique value proposition. So the reason why we are going to, the reason why our potential adopter will adopt our solution instead of other available on the market. We will talk about the use model, and we can say focus on early adopters, the most important target audience for dissemination and also for developing the key exploitable results during the research phase. The core of this service is the exploitation strategy seminar, and it will be the main interaction that we will have. The ESS will last 1 day or 2 days. It depends on the agenda that, together with the beneficiary, we will define together. That will define, and the participants in the seminar will be normally the coordinator and exploitation team. But obviously the seminar is open to all the participants in the consortium that have somehow participated in the development of the key exploitable results and that are interested somehow in taking part in the exploitation process. There is no compulsory indications, prescriptions for when to apply. Okay. But it is suggested to apply before the midterm of the project life, because the exploitation activities that we are going to work on are connected with the development of our key exploitable result, and it is important to start working on that since the very beginning of the project, and applying this service in the first half of the project will help you in find the proper pathway to impact later on. We can say that this seminar is a unique opportunity to define the next steps of your exploitation plan, working on the implementation of your exploitation plan. And at the ESS, we will work on 1, 2, or 3 key exploitable results. It's up to you, together with your expert, to decide how many key exploitable results will be included in the service. It can be said that the only thing that is going to change is the agenda, which obviously will be a little bit more dense if we will go for 3 key exploitable results. It will be more, we can say, we will be lighter if we will go for 1 key exploitable result. The tools that we are going to work with will be the characterization table, the priority map, the exploitation roadmap, and in the final report, which will be the main output of this service, we will provide also a set of recommendations just in order to better define the implementation of your exploitation plan. This seminar has some objectives. The first of all, we will introduce some key concepts. We will work on impact, on key exploitable results, on use, on the relationship in between impact and use, and we will focus on key exploitable results, discussing, as I said before, the problems to be addressed, the alternative solution available on the shelf, and the unique value proposition that can be somehow the reason why our potential adopter will adopt our solution. We will have a focus on risks related to the use of key exploitable results. So it's not risk connected with the implementation of your work plan, but is risk connected with the use and the exploitation process connected with your key exploitable result. And we will focus on, through a tool called exploitation roadmap, we will focus on the first actions that must be somehow carried out after the end of the project in order to secure the use of your key exploitable results facing the lack of resources that we will must somehow manage after the end of the project. Here we can see a tentative agenda of the ESS, and in this case we show you a 2-day we can say setting, okay? And in this case we assume that we will work with 3 key exploitable results, and accordingly we will have the first day where when we will introduce the exploitation, talking about main concepts, definitions, and so on. And then there will be the so-called big day of ESS, when we will go deeper, care by care, through the characterization table, the risk map, and the exploitation roadmap. Obviously, this second day, it will be a little bit testing, but at the end of the day, there will be basically the room for discussing and for acquiring a lot of information and knowledge about how to carry out your exploitation activities. The delivery steps. We have, for example, in front of us a potential tentative, we can say, route to follow, pathway to follow, and we can say that ideally the expert is appointed by the Commission, and in 3 days after the appointment, the expert will contact you with the first mail, introductory mail. In this mail, the expert will ask you to define a first introductory call, just in order to share expectations, to align ideas about the service delivery, and to explain how the service works. This introductory call should happen at least 5 weeks before the ESS, because in these 5 weeks we should somehow work on the tools that you should somehow prepare with the support of the expert, and these tools will be shared after the introductory call and should be somehow shared with the experts once again at least 3 weeks before the ESS. In the meantime, in these 3 weeks, the expert will prepare a preliminary report, which will be the baseline for the discussion in the ESS, and this preliminary report will be shared with the consortium at least 5 days before the ESS, just in order to allow the beneficiaries to share the preliminary report, to discuss it internally, and to be ready for the discussion during the ESS. After the ESS, there will be the collection of feedback, and we can say more or less in 10 working days after the ESS, the expert will share a final report with a set of recommendations for better implementing your exploitation strategy. If we go to the service 2, the business plan development, we have to say that it is a good follow-on of the first service, even if the two services can work individually, so they are standalone and they are not connected, compulsorily connected. And we can say that the business plan development is we can say is structured with this main element. And first of all, the main difference with the service 1 model C is the fact that this service focus on one key exploitable result. In this case, just in order to have a more mature key exploitable result, is suggested to apply in the second part of the project lifetime. And the interaction should take us more or less a couple of months. Also, in this case, the participation in the service and in the so-called business plan development workshop is open, but normally it is up to the beneficiary to decide who will participate in, starting from obviously the care owner and the coordinator, the exploitation partners, and so on. Also, in this case, there will be a final report where we will have a business plan structure table. We will have a lean canvas completed, an exploitation roadmap, which will be the update of the exploitation roadmap that we have somehow worked on the first exploitation service. And also in this case, we will have a set of recommendations where you could find some suggestion for better implementing your business plan or better drafting your business plan if the business plan is not already drafted. This is an option because, as you can see, we must understand that there is a support for structuring a business plan, and this kind of support is customized according to the maturity of the care selected. So if we have a business plan available, we will try to understand how to better carry out the activities in the implementation roadmap, and we will provide recommendation for improving this implementation. If the business plan is not drafted at all, the expert will try to gather all the information needed for preparing the business plan and for, we can say, starting the implementation of this document. So it depends on the maturity of the key exploitable result. As I said before, this second service has a little bit more interaction. We can say that there are 3 different phases, and we have a first phase where there is the introduction of the service delivery. In this case, we start from the first contact with the beneficiary after the expert appointment. Then we will agree also in this case about the service delivery. We will agree on the activities with a first introductory call. And after this call, the expert will share some self-assessment tools, such as, for example, the BOSAT, which will be necessary for igniting the process of the service delivery, just in order to allow the expert to understand we can say that the moment of the right moment and the right ideas to keep working on your business plan development process. The second step is basically connected with the preparation of the workshop and with the celebration of the workshop. We will have, in this case, a first capacity building activity when the expert will talk about the lean canvas, will talk about some key concepts connected with the business plan preparation. And after this webinar on Lean Canvas, which will be one of the most important tools that will be used during the workshop, the expert will share the Lean Canvas with all the other tools that will be completed by the beneficiary. After this online capacity building, there will be the most important phase of the service, where the BPD workshop will be celebrated, and during the BPD workshop will be discussed. The Lean Canvas completed, the business plan structure completed, starting from a so-called first set of guidelines that will be shared by the expert 5 days before the BPD workshop, just in order to be ready to discuss the issues connected with the business planning, just to be ready to review the Lean Canvas and to discuss about some key aspects of the business planning, such as, for example, the revenue streams, the cost structure, and to better define the implementation roadmap of your business plan strategy. The second phase, which will be, I would say, the most important phase of the whole service, will be followed by the finalization of the service itself. And this third phase could be organized, has been organized in two different tasks. The first one is it's not compulsory. It's something that the beneficiary can ask for. And I'm talking about the so-called follow-on coaching, which could be somehow requested by the beneficiary if some points discussed during the BPD workshop are not perfectly clear, or should somehow be furtherly discussed more in detail. And in this case, we can organize an additional call together with the beneficiary, talking about, for example, the pricing strategy, the revenue streams, the cost structure, financials in general, the channels that should be somehow activated for reaching early adopters. It's up to the beneficiary to decide if and what should be somehow discussed more in detail. The process will be somehow completed with the preparation of the final report, the BPD final report, which somehow will gather in a single document all the tools that we have used together, and obviously it will provide the beneficiary also with a set of recommendations for better drafting or better implementing the BPD, providing also the beneficiary with tools and links that can be useful for the implementation of your business plan for your key exploitable results. Here you can see a tentative agenda for the BPD workshop. Also, in this case, we will have an ice-breaking session, and then we will have the room for discussing both the business planning process and obviously for going deeper in your tools and for discussing each issue included in the tools that you have completed and that have been somehow commented in the first set of guidelines. Also, in this case, you can see what the delivery steps are, and also in this case, there is an official appointment. In comparison with the previous service, we have, we can say, one more interaction, compulsory, amongst the compulsory is one, and you have this capacity building session on the link canvas. And if you, as I said before, want to go deeper in some specific aspects, you can ask for a follow-on session to be held after the business plan development workshop. Also in this case, before the business plan development workshop, a first set of guidelines will be shared together with beneficiaries, just in order to allow them to be ready for the discussion. And we can say that after the BPD workshop, in more or less 2 weeks, the experts will share the final report, including, as I said before, a set of recommendations for the implementation of your business planning strategy. There are some things that are really important to keep in mind. As Alessia said before, the booster is a learning experience. So the real added value of these services is to work with your key exploitable results, but also to acquire a methodology and to start using the tools that can be useful for your future ongoing future exploitation strategies and PPD business plan development strategies. It is extremely important to have an alignment of the expectation, because it is important both for the expert and for the beneficiary. So at the end of the process, everyone can reach the target that has been fixed at the beginning of the process. It is extremely important to match, to take into consideration clear deadlines in order to have a clear timetable in front of us. And what is more, it is extremely important to have a clarity on the purposes of each tool. And more or less, from my side, that's it. I would like to introduce Elena Gascon-Villacampa, who is my first testimonial, I would say. And Helena has benefited from the PESI and the PPD. And I would ask Helena to share a little bit about the project and the results that have been developed during the project lifetime. The project is not completed yet, but Elena, please, good morning. The floor is yours.
Morning. Thank you very much, Antonello. Can you hear me? Yeah?
Yes, perfectly.
Okay, perfect. So we have been involved in this Model C in the Horizon Booster results, and I represent COFRES project, and that is the acronym for Co-Creating Sustainable and Competitive Fruits and Vegetables Value Chains in Europe. And our aim is to provide techniques, tools, and insights on how to make these agri-food value chains more sustainable, and in the 3 pillars of sustainability: environmental, social, and also economically. So COFRES is formed by 26 partners and plus 2 third parties from 10 different countries in all over Europe. And we have also 7 agri-food value chains represented by 7 pilots. We have 2 in Spain, 1 in France, 1 in the Netherlands, another one in Italy, Poland, and Hungary. And I will say that the most important thing in our project is the co-creation that has been really an issue in all the project, because we have also involve the stakeholders along the value chain. And back in 2020, when we started the project, we didn't know which innovations were going to be implemented. So in order to co-create these innovations, we created pilot case working groups with different people from the conference partners, support partners, but also people, stakeholders as suppliers, distributors, and so on. And along the project, we have had 4 different pilot case working group meetings with established methodology, and we have co-created 203 innovations, and that are technological but also non-technological innovations in the 7 pilot cases. And after this, we use different tools to establish consensus and to prioritize the innovations. So finally, as you can see on the screen, we have developed 19 innovation, technological and non-technological. There are about 2 or 3 innovation in each pilot case. And yeah, I think that's the most important thing about conferences and the co-creation process that we have implemented in our project.
Okay, Elena, and thank you for providing us with this overview about the project. And let's talk about your key exploitable results and the experience in, for example, the first exploitation service. You are running the business plan development, as far as I know, and but it's important to that you can share your experience and your key exploitable result for the exploitation process.
Okay, so first of all, I will say that I think the first thing that you have to do when you start working with the service is to learn what a key exploitable result is, because it seems easy, but you have to have the same definition for all the people involved in this seminar, and we have several discussions about this, but finally we decided, we identified all the innovation as key exploitable results. All the innovations that have been implemented in the pilot cases, but also the certification mark that we have been working on the project that is related with the with microplastics, and also the business models toolkit, but also the knowledge and new services and methodologies developed within COFRES. In the service, we have focused, well, as you said before, you can choose between 1, 2, or 3 results, to key exploitable results, to be involved in this service, and we take the opportunity to choose 3 of them, and it was a bit difficult for us because we decided to go through the difficult way, because as we didn't knew anything, we tried to learn at maximum, and we select 1 product, 1 new development. It's a tempeh based on fava beans from the Netherlands. We also choose the certification mark that we are developing within COFRES. And also another key exploitable result, that it's the Psycho Toolkit, that it's a reflective tool for the organizations, that it's related with sustainability-oriented innovation, but it's something that includes also a 4th component related to collaboration. So we choose as you see, 3 different key exploitable results, and it's been really rewarding, and the service has provided above all guidance and training. And we were a bit lost at the beginning, because we don't know anything about this, and I think we have learned a lot. For example, when doing the characterization table, CNT was involved in the development of the tempeh, and we were thinking, okay, who is our market, who is our customer, and we were thinking always in the end consumers. But then we realized when doing the seminar with you, we realized that our customer is not the end consumer, but a company that could develop this product. So it's been rewarding and a learning experience, as you said.
I'm happy about this also because this is the point, this is the objective. And now what is important here also, I thank you for underlining that also working with different key exploitable results is an experience, because obviously you can approach to different results, different kind of results, and obviously for each kind of result you should somehow figure out the possibility for using, for exploiting these kind of results. Obviously, there are different problems to address, and it is something that can be a real added value from deriving from this process and from the service itself. And now you are also involved in the business plan development. I don't know if you want to share something about it. Also, the second testimonial, Pascal will talk about a little bit more about the BPD, but you are now approaching to this, and I don't know if you want to share something more about the BPD too.
Well, we are working on it. We will have this seminar on the 11th of December, so we are working on it. And I will say that we will use the learning and that we take from this key exploitable result to export to the different partners that we have involved in our project. So this seminar will help us in defining their business plans strategy. Yeah, I hope it will be a learning experience too.
Okay, and what will be next with your results and with projects? We know that you have more or less some months to go, and what will be the next step to take?
Well, as you said, we are working on the business plan development, and we have to do a business plan for each pilot. So there is still a lot of work the following months. We will finish on March 2024. So for now, we are focusing on this and also in assessing the results that we have during these months of implementing the innovation to really measure if this innovation have had an impact in the sustainability of the value chains. But also I will say that it's time to maximize the impact and to emphasize in the communication and dissemination of our results. And that's why our pilots are working in different activities, two main activities, one national workshop and also one cross-exchange visit, inviting different projects related with ours. And also I will take this opportunity to invite you all to our final event that will be held on Brussels in the 14th of March 2024. So if you are interested, you can for sure visit our website and know more about Conference Project.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Elena, for sharing your experience. And I would, and obviously, we will try to participate in the final event, and also because it is based in Brussels, so it's easier for many of us to be there. And I would keep working with another testimonial, who is Pascal van der Noort, with a second project. And this project is Handshake, Civitas Handshake. And I would introduce you Pascal. And good morning, Pascal. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, and I hope you can see me as well. Sorry about that.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much for being here. And more or less, I will be, thank you for being here, first of all, but I will be very happy if you can share a little bit about the project and about your key exploitable results. And then we will try to go a little bit deeper in the different services that you are and have benefited, okay? Are benefiting and have benefited.
Yes, of course.
So please, the floor is yours, Pascal.
Can you see me, or is it still Elena that is now in the picture?
We can see you.
Okay. Good morning. Before I go into Handshake, I would like to take the opportunity to maybe introduce myself a little bit more before I go into the depth of Handshake and the Booster program. I'm an old-fashioned economist. I can calculate, I can plan, but I've never used it in terms of commercial enterprises. I've been a social entrepreneur avant la lettre. I've been doing this for like 40 years, and I stumbled into cycling like 25 years ago. Before that, I had a big career in HIV and AIDS as part of the gay community, and we were confronted in the 80s with HIV and AIDS, and we had to do something about it. So I set up the Dutch AIDS Foundation, the only fundraising organization for AIDS in the Netherlands. And after that, I set up a global association of people living with HIV and AIDS, where I learned how to work internationally. And to have a little bit of a break in my career, I did this fundraising, the sponsor raising for the Gay Games in 1998 in Amsterdam, the biggest event still ever held in Amsterdam. And I'm very proud of all that. There I met my headhunter who says, Pascal, there's a conference in Amsterdam that does not want to get organized because it's all woolly jumpers, tree huggers and vague people, and they talk a lot, but they do nothing. We are looking for a vicious manager, and that was for the second Global Cycling Conference in Amsterdam in 2000. So from 1999, not knowing anything about cycling, I ended up as a cycling plan person. I had two principles in the beginning. I said, I know nothing about cycling, and I intend to keep it that way. That was out to stay out of the hands of the woolly jumpers. But also I wanted to do something totally different, and that is where we are going to now. I wanted to make cycling glamorous all over the world. That's what I've been doing for the last 25 years, working with wonderful people, amongst which Mario Gualdi from ISIS in Roma, many others. We did many projects, and we tried to define cycling as a relevant tool for cities. We only work with cities. That is the only partner that we really need. All the others are welcome and happy to join, but we focus on cities because they can do the most, make the most decisions. They have the money, they have the budget, and they have the passion. We did a lot of projects, and in the end, in the beginning, we focused on mayors, vice mayors, on the decision makers, and then we found out, no, that is not good. We need to focus on the civil servants, because in the end, they need to get the support because they do the work that is necessary to get into cycling planning. But then the sustainability movement became much stronger, and we found out that cycling is an essential tool for cities to become climate neutral. So if Europe wants to have 100 climate neutral cities by 2030, then it better put in a lot of fundamental cycling planning to get there. We gathered 10 cities who wanted to learn, who wanted to become future cycling capital. And we invited 3 cycling capitals, Amsterdam, Copenhagen, and Munich, to sort of spar with them and to get these the knowledge and experience across. And for that purpose, we designed an immersive program. In the old days, this one city would visit another city, stay half a day and go back again, but then learned nothing. We said we have to really do immersive study tours and get people in a city for a week to learn all about it and to really be immersed in the culture, in the reason why, in the communication with everybody. That was a great success. And then COVID came. And COVID was, on one hand, a sort of a drama because we could not visit each other anymore. But at the same time, it taught us how to communicate online. And that is the basis for the international cycling community of practice that we are now building. We said if we can get civil servants in a safe environment to talk to each other and ask stupid questions that are never stupid questions, but always very interesting, then they can make and create together an institutional memory for cycling, basically all over the world, but of course also in Europe. And we said to each other, but before we can bring them together, we need to know who is the mentor and who is the mentee, who is a teacher and who is the student. So we developed a self-assessment tool for cities with 20 chapters where cities can say in a multiple choice questionnaire on what level they are in each chapter. There's like 5 chapters there, five levels in every chapter. And in the end, they will get a copper, bronze, silver, gold, or platinum status, not to compare to others, but to get an ambition for themselves. So that is now online, that is sitting there, and then we needed the money. So we went to Europe. I said, we did a wonderful program. We have a wonderful result. And what about now? Are you now going to leave us alone? And they said, no, you're going to go to the booster program. So then we met Antonello. And then the next step was I learned so many abbreviations. It is an amazing situation. And oh my God, I don't like that at all, but it is what it is. It also molded our brain. It made us think differently on how to approach. We are not a commercial project. We are not going to make money. So it's very complicated to go to sponsors and say, give us money. You're not going to get anything back, no profit, no ownership or whatever. But we can give you, and that's what we defined in this booster program. We have a business plan, we have a pitch, and then I didn't tell Antonello yet, but we did something new. We put it all we had in ChatGPT. And we got out the most wonderful formulated program with the most beautiful English. And we also made a pitch in English. But then I said to myself, why don't we do that in Italian? I don't speak Italian at all, but I use 11 labs to mimic my voice. And now I speak 26 languages all of a sudden. So we have a pitch in 26 languages that we can use all over board. And well, here we are talking together now. Was I too long?
No, absolutely. No, I just was captured by your story, and the story that brings you to the booster. And I have to say that the experience with you, with Mario, with the project has been very, very interesting. Also because, as you said, the result that we have worked together on is something different from the product, the service, the typical product that can be somehow treated in the booster. And this is also the way we can share that we are open to different kind of results, technological, not technological. When we say that the Kicks product result can be so many different things, this is what we think. Okay. And I would ask you some few ideas about your experience with the service, some difficulties, some problems, some strengths. So to talk about your experience with the service, in particular with the business planning and so on, also because it's as I said before, start to prepare a set of recommendations for this kind of key exploitable results. So I would be very happy if you can share a little bit more about the service and your experience with the service.
Of course, I would like to say a few things about that. But I don't want to make an evaluation yet because we haven't done yet. We still want to get to the final. We want to get the funding first, and then it is successful. Otherwise, it is maybe a little bit more. One thing for everybody who wants to do this, it takes a lot of energy. It is not for free. It is not like sitting back and relax and talk a little bit. It is intense. All the meetings were long and extremely exhausting, but they changed our minds. They molded our brains because we are from a world that is not commercial at all, and then we are being forced to think in a way that potential funders might think, and we had to learn that, and we did. So now I'm much more concrete, to the point, and yet I can display it in a glamorous manner, which is very important, I think, for people to understand. There is passion, and passion does not fit in words. Passion is something that should be part of every project. I still have an immense problem with all the abbreviations. My God, I learned in the past to hardly ever use abbreviations, but say the whole word and again and again and again. And it's boring, I know, but then people who are not really into the mold can still follow what you say. And otherwise they sort of leave off when there's an abbreviation. I think it was the first thing I said to you in our first meeting. Please don't speak in abbreviation because it's so complicated to catch up all the time. We don't all speak English very well. It's a thing that we have to do. So that's basically it. What I really liked, because it was the condensation of it all, was the lean. What's it called?
The
lean
canvas.
Lean canvas. The lean canvas. That is really, really good. I suggest everybody starts filling in that first, and then you find out how complicated it is. But in the end, you will be successful in filling that lean canvas properly, and that is very important. That is a good tool.
Okay, thank you so much, Pascal. I think that I have to leave the floor to Alessia once more. I would like to thank you once more, you and Elena, and obviously Alessia, thank you for attention, and Alessia, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Antonello, Pascal, and Elena, for the insightful information that you shared with us and your presentation. Now I'm the next speaker because I'm going to introduce you the first part of the go-to-market services, and then I will be followed as speaker by Tyra Colla from Chowtech P&O Consultants, which will complete the presentation and talk about with her testimonial. So I'm now sharing my screen. Here we are. So service 3, go-to-market services. Please remember, first of all, to post your questions through Slido. Colleagues are replying in written, and then I'm going to take the first ones of the ranking to reply lively at the end of the webinar. Go-to-market services. This is a bit more complicated in terms of the structure because service 3 is then subdivided in 6 different services. How to pitch, support for IPR, training on innovation management, business services, exploitation options, access to non-EU funding. As you can see from the slide, the first 3 of them that I was mentioning are available for individual projects or for project groups. This means that if you are an already created project group, at the application phase, you can request Service 1, Module A and Module B, and Service 3, pitching, support for IPR, and innovation management training. All the other services are for the benefit of individual projects, and therefore, if you are an individual project, you can then request all of them as it was already presented. I'm going to introduce you the first 3 services. So, just a recap. Because there is a maximum time effort that experts can devote to each project, not all support typologies under the Service 3 can be requested. The platform allows for specific combinations that I will show you. So if you're interested in 1 or 2 go-to-market services, this is not a problem. You can even benefit from more of them, but not from all of them. Go-to-market services can be requested after Service 1 Module C and or BPD completion, or as a standalone. This depends much on the level of maturity of your project. The focus will be only on one key exploitable result, which has to be clearly identified. Usually to apply directly to go-to-market services, you are requested to upload together with your application a dissemination and exploitation plan or an advanced business plan, or you should have completed an earlier HRB service. So, support type 1, pitching a service. The idea here is that experts are providing you with training and coaching on how to present key exploitable results to potential investors, business partners, or other relevant stakeholders. This means that they are helping you in preparing your slide deck to transfer your idea to relevant stakeholders, which usually are not peers. This is recommended, it's recommended to request this service close to the end of the project's life when key exploitable results are clearly identified. This service can be delivered as a standalone or as a part of a service package. Quick overview of the different steps. So, expert appointment, capacity building preparation with review of some of the tools, feedback report, prepare of the elevator pitching form. Then there is a capacity building part with half-a-day workshop on investor readiness, how to pitch, and the review of the elevator pitching form. Then there is pitching sessions organized, simulated with the experts, and then final reports including feedback. It's important to know that all the HAB services provide at the end a final report, which includes all the different activities and information, tools and methodologies which have been used, state of the art of the work done with the beneficiaries, further recommendations and suggestions provided by the experts, and as well further relevant information for your specific case. Service 3, support type 2, support and guidance for IPR. In this is a specific service which is going to guide you through the basics of the IPR. I'm mentioning basics of IPR, and so different modalities and procedures for IP management, assistance with the IP management strategy, recommendation and redirection towards the use of more specialized services offered by the Commission, like the IP help desk, the IP scan, and so on and so forth. So this is meant to be an introductory type of service on IP. The delivery could be done as a standalone service or as part of a service package. Quick overview of the service delivery. Expert appointment and first contact with beneficiaries. As I told you at the beginning, there is always an introductory call to agree on the service delivery plan per each service delivery. Then there is the training preparation, so introductory call to set specific topics of interest and request eventually missing document. Then the training, half-day workshop on basics on IPR and topics agreed at the introductory call. Then coaching, 2 hours coaching session on the scope and how to use the main easy-funded support services. Service 3, support type 3, training on innovation management. This is a pure training type of service, even if there is a sort of combination in between theory and practice. So there are insights into the various dimensions of the innovation management, how they interrelate, how they can be applied to the different situations. Again, the training on innovation management can be delivered as a standalone or as part of a service package. It's provided as a full-day online training course to enhance the innovation management competencies of the interested consortium. The work will be around the 5 dimensions of innovation management and its combination in between theory and practice with some case studies. As I was mentioning, we still have to have presented the missing 3 sub-services under the go-to-market, but this is just to show you that there are some suggestions on how to combine, how the different services can be combined in packages if you are interested in more than 1 or 2 of them. Now, stopping my presentation and I'm giving the floor to Tyra Kola from Chowtech P&O Consultants, which she is going to introduce business services, examining options for exploitation and access to non-EU funding, and then have a nice chat with her testimonial. Tyra, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Alessia. I'll just share my screen. Oh. Please let me know if you see it.
Yes.
Yeah. So hi everyone. Thank you, and thank you, Alessia, for the introduction. Very briefly, again, my name is Tyra Kola, and I'm an innovation and business design consultant at P&O Consultants, where we offer full collaborative expertise and capacity to help organizations initiate, fund, manage, and implement their innovations. I work specifically in the R&D innovation services team, and my focus there is very much on exploitation activities and business design, so mainly business modeling and go-to-market. So I'll be speaking about these services which we work on. So as Alessia already mentioned, the broad introduction to this macro service 3. So what I'll do is spend my time mainly on introducing you to these specific 3 support types. So there's the business services, the exploitation options, and the non-EU funding support that we provide each of our beneficiaries that request these services. Again, as Alessia mentioned, it's not necessary that all of these services are taken up, but it's necessary that the beneficiaries arrive to these services with an already let's say an already ready care that they would like to exploit and take on to the market. So starting with the first support type, there's the business service overview. So here you see just some of the characteristics and activities that are included in the service. Since we're offering consortia operational support immediately before entering the markets, these services are of particular benefit for projects that have a high TRL level, mature use models, and cares that are at an advanced stage of development. There are 3 types of support activities that fall under this service, and each of them requires an advanced exploitation plan. So ranging from the first, which is focused on the commercialization plan. So here we help you co-design your commercialization plan. the requirement here is to have at least a developed and tested product or service and a well-designed exploitation plan or business plan. In the second one, where we assess feasibility of the business plan, you need to have at least a final draft of the business plan available with all sections filled in. And the last one, which is about coaching towards creation of startups and spin-offs. You basically, it's recommended to have a complete business model and commercialization plan to take up this this service. Just here you just see an overview. More detail on these specific services, but maybe I shouldn't spend too much time on this. The first type of support, we basically help you to assess the strategic positioning of your innovation, and then we help you in in positioning, in optimizing your positioning strategy. In the second one, we help to ensure that your business plan is consistent. So we check your numbers through various different tools that we utilize throughout the service. We ensure that you're going to market with a feasible and a profitable plan for your business. In the last one, which is about supporting the startups and the spin-offs, again, we go through various different kinds of tools that we teach you how to use and provide you feedback on once you've filled them in. And this again it's another service where we assist you in achieving these objectives of creating your startup or your spin-off. So here you just see an overview of some of the tools that we frequently use in the service. The way the service is developed is delivered is that the expert shares these tools along with a detailed explanation of how to utilize them. And then through different sessions, we work on them together or have a sort of back and forth of feedback and reiteration. And then the expert analyzes them, implements some desk research using information from available databases and examining the project's TRL, state of development, use models, business plan, the descriptions of the key exploitable results, etc. So these are some of the tools. There's the 4P assessment, the 5 Cs, and the business model assessment tool and the financial business case assessment tool. All of these help us arrive at your objectives and the commercialization plan. The next service is the next support type is the examining options for exploitation. So it's very important in selecting the appropriate exploitation model. That really is the way that it's what determines your success. So for example, establishing a startup might not be always the optimal approach for introducing an innovative product to the market, and selling a patent might not always be the most suitable option for bringing a technology to market. So the service, this specific support type, offers a very nuanced approach and exploration of the various exploitation options that are available for you for your innovation. And it's about finding the strategy that aligns most effectively with your goals and the nature of your innovation. So here again, you see some of the characteristics and the activities that are included. Yeah, so again, it's a strategic move that can really profoundly impact the success and market influence of your innovation. So you have to be very careful when tackling this and deciding on which approach to use. The service is tailored again for innovations at a high TRL level, so technology readiness level, boasting a mature use model and with advanced key exploitable results. It's precisely at this stage that the choice of the right exploitation model becomes critical for higher impact on markets. So the activities embedded in this service are designed to guide you through the decision-making process. We start by assessing the exploitation route and commercialization strategy, and then it involves a comprehensive evaluation of the pros and cons of various implementation options that you have at your disposal. As part of the service, we use different tools again, so such as the care exploitation form, the exploitation roadmap form, and the commercialization plan. These tools serve as very practical aids for you to help you structure and visualize your exploitation and commercialization strategies. We provide you with advisory support throughout the process and help you make sure that you're making very informed choices about the exploitation options that align best with your innovation and your goals. The last support type in the go-to-market service is the access to non-EU funding. So securing funding after your project has ended is quite a significant and important part. So recognizing this, we offer this crucial service. So we support beneficiaries in crafting a personalized funding strategy for accessing public funding beyond the European Union. So the aim of this service is very clear. It's to circumvent the all too common scenario where promising research, development, and innovation ideas remain unrealized due to the lack of, not due to the lack of merit, but due to the lack of a well-defined funding strategy. So here our objective is to provide you with tailored support and empower the beneficiaries to navigate the landscape of non-EU funding and ensuring that your groundbreaking ideas not only materialize but also manage to thrive in the market. So here you see some of the, again, the characteristics. So it's basically you need to sorry in this process we guide you in creating this very comprehensive public-private funding strategy tailored to your unique needs. And additionally, we aim to achieve a preliminary conceptualization of an innovative project proposal. So we ensure that your ideas align seamlessly with your funding objectives. Within this service, some of the activities that are included are identifying funding opportunities. So we help you to navigate the landscape, pinpoint available funding options beyond the EU. We then help you match your funding to your objectives. So our service assists in identifying funding that aligns with the specific innovation objectives of your project, of the beneficiary. And lastly, we prioritize opportunities. So we help you in understanding how to strategically prioritize your different funding opportunities, which involves, again, a very nuanced approach to ensure optimal resource allocation. Sorry, my slide is not moving. Sorry, do you see the next slide?
We can see the non-EU funding overview slide.
Okay, sorry, it's my screen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, now it's the last.
Okay.
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 Yes.
All right, so just very briefly, these again are some of the tools that we utilize. I won't get into much detail, but just to give you an idea that there are several tools that we familiarize you with. We help you to fill them in, and these tools then can be directly used in some of as part of your funding strategy. So it's a very complete way to arrive at your detailed funding strategy and ensure that you get reach your objectives. Yeah, so thank you very much for your time, and I would now like to introduce my testimonial, who is Anna Papa. She's a customer service consultant with a decade of experience. She's currently an economist at Terracom SA, and she excels in economic management of research projects and business plan preparation, showcasing also very much through the Horizon Results Boost services that we worked on together, her very solid work ethic and unwavering enthusiasm. She was very much involved and dedicated to this service, and for her very beautiful and significant project. So I worked together with Anna and her fellow partners on the business co-design and the go-to-market exploitation options services for the IT Flows project, which in a very brief nutshell provides predictions of migration flows to enhance humanitarian support. So Anna, I'd like to ask you maybe a few questions, and of course, if you could please further introduce yourself and your project, and the specific cares that we focused on, and a little bit about the services that you benefited from, and your experience with the HRB services. Thanks. Don't know if
We cannot hear you, Anna.
sorry, I can't see.
No, we still cannot hear you. Is your microphone plugged in? No.
Me.
I heard something now.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now it's
Yes.
good. Okay, thank you.
Great. Hello,
Great.
everyone. I am Anna Papa. I have been working at Terracom SA for about 3 years, and I started pretty much since IT Flows began its journey. IT Flows is a 3-year EU-funded project composed of 14 partners and coordinated by the Autonomous University of Barcelona. It officially started on 1st of September 2022. As prediction and management of migration are a major challenge for the EU and also for many stakeholder groups that provide resources and assistance to migrants, reliable predictions of migrants is crucial for better assistance and for adequate allocation of resources at the EU borders. The absence of accurate, large-scale studies predicting migration flows has created a significant gap, one that IT Flows sought to bridge through the development of the EU Migrant Tool and precise predictive models by comprising different research institutions and NGOs all around Europe and including several external boards. The EU Migrant Tool has aimed to provide solutions based on the prediction of migration flows and the identification of risks of tensions between migrants and EU citizens. By focusing on reception, relocation, settlement, and the integration phases, IT Flows aim to assist first-line practitioners and civil society organizations through EMT, and also provided invaluable insights to policymakers and governments. The project's comprehensive objectives are ranging from accurate prediction models and EMT creation to policy solutions for asylum seekers' arrivals and integration optimization, reflect its commitment to enhancing both the accuracy of migration predictions and the effectiveness of management strategies. IT Flows offered a robust foundation for evidence-based policymaking, ultimately contributing to more informed, empathetic, and efficient management of migration flows within the EU.
Great. Thanks. So could you tell us a little bit about your experience with the Horizon Results Booster? And yeah, just touching upon both services, so the business co-design and the exploitation options that we worked on together. So just telling us a little bit about how you benefited from these services, maybe a little bit about what you found most useful, and some of the short-term and long-term benefits that you gained from the services that we provided.
Yes, of course. The IT Flows Consortium, as you mentioned, requested two HRB services, the go-to-market business co-design and the go-to-market exploitation option. Regarding the business co-design, the workshops were held online on May and June of 2023. Previously, the IT Flows beneficiaries had worked on the 4P marketing mix model and the 4P assessment template. During the sessions, the field documents were discussed and the expert provided her support and feedback. Additionally, we were introduced to the commercialization plan and were explained each of the sections in detail. Regarding the go-to-market exploitation options, one workshop was held online on June 2023. It was organized to discuss expectations, get a first insight of the state of the art, present the service, and introduce preparatory activities. IT Flows participants were asked to fill in a set of documents and tools that have been illustrated to us during the meeting, and afterwards, Taira, who worked with us, provided her feedback and recommendations. The IT Flows collaborated, signed it, both services. This collaboration proved.
Sorry, I can't hear you very well. I don't know if it's just my...
No.
Anna?
Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes, we can hear you again.
I don't know what is the problem today.
No worries. Okay.
Well, as I was mentioning, IT Flows the IT Flows Consortium collaborate. We think that we collaborated effectively with Taira in both services. This collaboration proved valuable, providing us with essential guidance on developing a successful exploitation strategy. The workshops were meticulously crafted, incorporating input and fruitful brainstorming from IT Flows partners and HRB's expert, that is Taira. During the workshops, more specifically, during the workshops on May and June 2023, we received significant assistance on how to showcase the market potential of our work, outline a strategic approach to revenue generation, and demonstrate an understanding of the landscape and resources needed on the innovations opportunity. Those workshops were clearly quite specialized, aiming to provide us guidance on how to fine-tune a commercialization plan. Such a plan will play a crucial role in showcasing the vision of the EU Micro Tool and demonstrating how the proposed innovation aligns with the market. while the IT flows beneficiaries have already conducted initial work during the project's lifespan, nevertheless, it requires updating as the tool evolves. Although the EMT has already been tested in several pilot studies and workshops, further research and development are needed to increase its accuracy and usability for end users. By evolving the EMT, it can be better positioned for market success and be a valuable tool for humanitarian organizations working in the field of migration. Currently, there are uncertainties such as pricing and final projections, which can only be addressed once the final product is deployed at TRL 9 scale.
Okay. So yeah, thank you very much, Anna. If you do you have any last feedbacks or any recommendations for other people that might want to take up these services? And yeah, and thank you for your time.
Thank you very much for having me here today. To be honest and personally speaking, when IT flows started, it was all very new for me, and Horizon Results Boosters gave me so much assistance personally, and I believe for the whole consortium, because we understood many things that were not clear until then. And personal speaking, again, I don't know if I could deliver the exploitation plan completed and successful as it is right now due to HR business systems.
Okay, thank you.
Much.
Thank you. Okay, so I hand back to Alessia and stop sharing my screen.
Thank you very much, Tyra and Anna, for your contribution. It's now time to answer the questions which were posed on Slido. I saw that the colleagues in the office are already answering in written, but now I would kindly ask to share the questions on the screen so to have the possibility to answer them live. Okay. Great. So I'm going, from the first one and then going down, and let's see, I know that we received so far around 50 questions, so this will be a tough job now. First one, could you please repeat who is eligible for these services? Do they have to be projects and they have just started, or projects that are near to completion? This is an easy one. So the minimum requirement is that the project, of course, is started in a sense that the grant agreement has been signed. Projects can be ongoing or closed and should come from eligible funding, FP7, H2020, and Horizon Europe. Then it depends much on the type of service that you would like to benefit from, and of course the stage of maturity, as well the know-how that the partnership already has when addressing dissemination and exploitation activities. As our testimonials presented, there can be different levels of understanding, and to assess internally this would be very important when requesting HLB services. Any case, do not worry, nothing carved on stone. If you request the wrong inverted comma service, you can then discuss with the experts and services can be changed. Another important element is that when you submit your application, you are requested to pick a tentative period of time in which you would like to have the service delivered among the allowed ones, of course. And again, if you change your mind, then this can be flexible and this can be arranged with the experts. Question 2, could it be in favor of a proposal to mention within communication, dissemination, exploitation, the intention to apply for HRB? Yes, but of course it should make sense considering all the activities that you're already planning to have, and as well this should be connected to specific achievements that you would like to have. So if you want to mention, this is good to have, but please be clear the when and mainly the why you will be requesting HRB services and how those could be integrated in what you already plan to have. Do you expect applicants to already address in the Horizon Europe proposal how they size opportunity with the Horizon Results Booster? How could they address this? This is more or less the same type of question I just answered. So yes, you can insert the Horizon Results Booster as one of the planned activities. And the important point, as I was just mentioning, please be clear how the service delivery HRB can add value to what you would like to achieve and can be integrated in the overall pathway to impact that you need to present in your proposal. Is this service available for projects stemming from all pillars under Horizon Europe? Yes. This was easy and straightforward answer. What will happen after May 2024? Will the HRB service be renovated? Yes, as I explained, the applications can be gathered till the 7th of May 2024, but the Commission is already planning to have a new follow-up initiative, an HRB2. The tender is out nowadays to select the consortium which is going to run the new HRB2. So, I mean, if I have to guess, later in 2024 or starting from 2025, a new initiative will be up and running, but this is up to the Commissioner. For HRB Service 1, if new project join an existing project group, can more dissemination be done within the HRB support? Okay, so if I got it right, if there is an already created project group, new projects can join for the benefit, for the purpose of benefiting from HRB services. The answer is yes. If we can have two different cases. One case is that we have an individual project requesting Service 1 Module A and Module B, and the project group is created as a first step of the Module A service delivery. Or there is an already created project group which decides to apply as a project group to the HRB services, and in this case, as first step of the service delivery, additional projects can be added to the project group if this is in the, of course, the willingness of the applicant. So this is pretty flexible, and if you have that need or that idea, please share this with the appointed experts and the project group can be integrated. Can the same beneficiary request for a second time the same HRB service but with a different project? Actually, yes, because what is checked in terms of eligibility is the grant agreement ID number, because then the idea is that the work that is going to be done with the experts, it's targeting and focusing different key exploitable results. So different projects, different key exploitable results. So it's not a matter of beneficiary, it's a matter of eligible projects. Does the application allow for different projects to apply together? Yes, this is the case of project groups, but please bear in mind that project groups can request as a project group already created only Service 1 Module A and Module B, which are the dissemination related services, and 3 out of the 6 go-to-market services. The Service 1 Module C, the business plan development, and 3 of the go-to-market sub-services can be requested only by individual projects. So you can submit 2 different applications. If you are interested to apply as a project groups and you are eligible to some of the services, you can go with 1 application. And then if you are interested in the other services, you can request them as an individual project. Bear in mind that within 1 application, you can request 1 or more services, and you are allowed to submit more than 1 application requesting the different services. So if you want first to start, let's say, with the module A for dissemination and the module C for the exploitation path, you can go with those ones and then request the module B, so the follow-up for the dissemination, and the BPD and the go-to-market as a follow-up of the module C. This is up to you. What kind of role as the expert from HIB in the activities? A management role, sending emails to organize a meeting or giving suggestions to the partners? I would say it's twofold, exactly what you wrote, both of them. Of course, the experts are managing the service delivery. As I said, the very first step is the introductory call with the beneficiaries to agree on the service delivery plan, on the dates and the activities and the homeworks on both sides, the experts and the beneficiaries, and agree on deadlines and dates in which webinars and workshops can take place. But in parallel, the experts are guiding and facilitating the process and exercising tools and methodologies with the key exploitable results identified for the purpose of the service delivery by the beneficiaries. Please bear in mind that we ask you to select a specific number of key exploitable results for the purpose of the HIB service delivery, because as it was presented, HIB is a learning experience, and therefore the idea is to exercise the methodologies and the tools with the guidance of the experts, and then to replicate internally for the project with the other key exploitable results. If you start with Service 1 Module A, is there enough time to use all services by November 2024? Yes, but this depends much on how collaborative you are with the experts. As I presented, Service 1 Module A and Service 1 Module C, addressing different topics and paths, can be run in parallel, and then Module B will follow Module A, while BPD and go-to-market can follow the Service 1 Module C. So the 2 paths, the dissemination, the exploitation, and go-to-market, could be run in parallel, and if you collaborate timely with the experts, yes, there is enough time to benefit from all the services. Even more, because I cannot this type of information when you submit your application, then the time for the commission to check the eligibility and for us to appoint the experts, usually it's very short, from 1 to 2 weeks time. So let's say that if you submit your application today, you can start service delivery from the first days of December. The capacity building webinar and tools template will be sent to all attendees of the webinar or just the project coordinator. All the documents are shared with all the attendees and all the users and all the participants in the service delivery. It's internal QCing of the project to decide who is going to be on board. As I said, it could be the full consortium, so all the partners, or a selected number of them. When you deal with more than one key exploitable result, there could be the case that dedicated sessions to each key exploitable result could be organized. In that case, of course, only interested partners will be invited. But there are as well plenary sessions, or the service delivery could be run in plenary, and therefore all the partners can attend. Do you have examples of go-to-market results of a science education and you funded projects? We do have several cases because we already supported several SSH, so social sciences and humanities type of projects. So do not be worried about that. We are ready and experienced to support all the different type of key exploitable results and the different type of topics and funding schemes. Do not be frightened by the type of wording, which is, the titles, the names of the services, because everything is customized to match the specific needs of the beneficiaries, and therefore different type of projects can be served no matter. So no worries about that. How do you evaluate the applications? What are the criteria for the evaluation? Applications are evaluated as a standalone. This is not a competitive type of evaluation process. The Commission is checking the eligibility, and then experts are evaluating, discussing with the beneficiaries if they picked the right services. But therefore there is, besides eligibility, being funded under FP7, H2020 and Horizon Europe, there are no other criteria to be matched. There are some documents which are requested at the application phase. If you do not upload them, your application can be approved, but you will be requested later on to upload them. So yes. Therefore, please bear in mind that some documents are at the end of the study mandatory. Will new projects that have just received funding be deemed as not ready or not eligible? Should we wait till we are at least halfway into the project? As I was mentioning, the only prerequisite is to have a grant agreement signed with the Commission and the starting date of the project already passed. Then services can be customized. It's clear that while the Service 1 Module C can be delivered even at very early stages of project life, when it comes to business plan development and go-to-market services, this needs to be, delivered to later stages. More or less the same for Module A and Module B. It's easier to have them delivered even at earlier stages, but at least you need to have clear which are your key exploitable results. Are the services accessible at the time of proposal preparation or only after grant agreement? You need to sign a grant agreement first. So after the kickoff date of the project. Is it possible to use all the services module, or is there a limit? You can request all the services. The only limit that I have to highlight is that when it comes to the go-to-market services, you are not allowed to request the 6 of them, and as Tyra presented, one of them, the business services, even subdividing in further 3 sub-services. So you can request a group of them, and we suggest throughout the application how you can group them. But for the others, Service 1 Module A, B, C, and BPD, you can request all of them. Only once. If you're offering this service, does it mean that when applying for grants, it might be worth not to ask too much money for dissemination and exploitation? Please bear in mind, as it was highlighted at the very beginning of this webinar, that experts are not going to substitute you in your activities. This means that your dissemination and exploitation activities should be there. Moreover, because you need to think that evaluators are going to properly check all the criteria, and impact is one of the 3 criteria that will be checked, and you need to demonstrate that you have clear ideas on how to, which will be your pathway to impact. HRB and similar initiatives are support initiatives, are not going to substitute or add on to what you will be in any case doing and performing throughout your project's life. What is the selection process to decide which project you support? I think I've already addressed one. You need to come from eligible funding. Eligible is direct funding of the mentioned framework research programs, but as well, I can spend one word on this, indirect funding. This means that projects funded by the EIT knowledge and innovation communities are eligible. Projects funded by joint undertakings are eligible. So please check from where your funding is coming. So even if you do not sign a grant agreement directly with the Commission, but you are receiving funding from an initiative which has been funded, or it's putting co-funding initiatives with H2020 in this case and Horizon Europe, you can be eligible. There is a dedicated path to those type of projects in the HRB website to submit the application. Please, 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 when you follow that path and you do not add your grant agreement ID number because you do not have in the application, please clearly mention which is the funding scheme, EIT, joint undertaking, whatever, that is funding your action, because this would speed up the eligibility check. At what stage of the process of a project do you start providing support? This is up to you to decide which would be the best stage to benefit from HRB support. As I already mentioned, we can start supporting you from the very early stages till when the project is closed, even beyond the end date of the project's life. Where can one the application for this scheme via the no. You can submit your application through the HRB website. So just look for Horizon Results Booster on Google or whichever browser you are used to use, and you just have your apply for button or request service in the app, and everything happens online. So it's pretty straightforward. Is this a free service for projects that have been signed the grant agreement? Yes, 100% free of charge delivery to eligible projects. I'm having some problems to access the video live. Will this session recordings be available? Yes, the recording will be available together with all the presentations which have been shared by the experts in the page of the event run by the European Commission. For Module A, even if you come with a request as an individual project, do I understand the aim is to identify a project group to set up a research portfolio together? Yes, absolutely yes. You can request the service as an individual project, and then you can, a project group is created as a first step of the service delivery. Projects are grouped together as Nick presented, projects with commonalities, and then a portfolio of project results is created with key exploitable results coming from the different projects composing the project group. What strategy you can give to those who have to do exploitation and business plan for classified and confidential projects? This is a good question. We have experience in supporting several cluster 3 security for civil applications projects. We are pretty used to work with the classified and confidential projects. Experts are, the masters of the process when dealing with dissemination and exploitation, and the extent to which information is shared with them depends on the project. But believe me, it's a matter of process and procedures that can be exercised with the experts and then used internally by project partners to address even classified and confidential information. So the extent to which the information is shared depends on you, the beneficiaries. Any case, the experts can support your actions because we already did it with several other projects. In this service, also available for IT projects, Eureka RDI cluster on software innovation. I'm sorry, I think that this has been answered in written because this is the type of knowledge that I personally do not have. It's more on the commission, but for sure colleagues have already replied in written to this, so you can check in the chat box for the reply. Life projects eligible, I have this answer because I already know that life projects are not directly eligible. What does it mean? That the life project cannot request be an applicant for the HRB services, but life projects can be grouped with other projects to request services which are Service 1 Module A and B and the 3 sub-services under the go-to-market. What does it mean? Is that if you know a project under the eligible funding, which you have commonalities with, you can group with that project can act as an applicant. And you can benefit together with the other projects in the project group of the HRB service delivery. Do you also produce the dissemination materials? Yes. Under the Service 1 Module B, visual identity materials and as well video pills are produced, but please bear in mind that this is always for the benefit of the project group, which is already applying as a project group, created project group, or created throughout the service delivery. If there is a formal group of projects, should the project supply individual application or one single application for all is enough? One project will act as lead applicant, mentioning the other projects composing the project groups in the application. And therefore, one application, it's more than enough. Thank you. Could some public information be made available about what the key exploitable result is? Because most academics think it is a pattern. Some education is required. I've provided the answer in written, so you have the definition there, which stays, but please bear in mind that there is, a lot of publicly available sources by the Commission in which all this information, so specific definitions can be found and explanations, and as well you can contact your national counterpoint for further information. So, and unfortunately, coming from my experience, I do agree with you that, commented in this way because there is a lot of confusion in between results and key exploitable results about communication, dissemination, and exploitation. And this is something which is as well very well clarified when service delivery starts. And if you go back to the presentation, which was shared by Antonello, you have as well some insights there that you can go back to. From your experience, is it possible that the key exploitable results might be a totally different level, let's say 3 to 8? I think you were mentioning TR level, so the technology readiness level. Different results can have different technology readiness level. We are prepared to support the different ones. So for the purpose of the service delivery, if you want to exercise different type of support, you can pick 3 key exploitable results, which are different categories, like a product, a service, a policy recommendation, and even 3 different results with the 3 different key technology readiness levels. Is it mandatory to join a group of projects before requesting the support, or a project can request it on its own? Individual projects can request all the services, but as well project groups can request some of the services. If you would like to benefit from all the services, my suggestion would be to request all the services as an individual project. And then if you have the other projects that you would like to group with, you can mention that for the module A and the module B, you can group, you have already in mind other projects you can group with. Otherwise, you can submit two different applications, one as an overall already created project group, and one to request the services which can be delivered only to individual projects. This is really up to you. It's a flexible process. Could you remind us what TRL stands for? TRL is Technology Readiness Level. If one of the goals is to increase TRL, does it mean that we cannot include projects with high TRLs? Haha, this is tricky. TRL is not the main point to be discussed when approaching HRB. What HRB services are looking for is to improve the overall readiness, impact readiness, if I have to say, level of the key exploitable results and the project. Therefore, whichever is the TRL, we are ready to support your key exploitable results. So please bear in mind that TRL is not the king in this case, but it's more how to approach the market, the community, and how to run your pathway to impact. When you provide the services, do you sign an NDA? All the experts and all the management team people already sign an NDA with the commission, and this is available to the beneficiaries when entering the HRB workspace dedicated for the service delivery. You will access full CV, short CV, and NDA provided by the experts. If for any reason you would like to share information for which you would like to have a specific additional NDA signed, or because your organization it's used to have a specific template for an NDA, just propose this to the experts. They will be happy to sign it additionally, and the service delivery can happen. If a single project applied to service one, module A and B and C, do they start all at the same time with the same expert? They will follow a specific timeline. Service one, module A and module C can be run in parallel because delivered by different experts. Module B will follow service module A completion. What happens in November 2024? Why HRB are no longer available at that date? There will be more time windows to apply for the services after that date. After that date, there will be another, an HRB2 initiative up and running, and therefore no worries. This is an initiative that the Commission, it's really, you know, putting a lot of effort and investment to support you going to the market, to the community, to the policymaker, and achieving an actual impact. And therefore, there will be another initiative, no worries, but the suggestion is to take as much as possible the opportunity which is currently ongoing if you are an eligible project. What about is the success rate of application for the HRB? I mean, I would say close to 100%. If you are eligible, you will receive services. So no worries and apply. The exploitation strategy seminar is only online, or it could be in presence. The exploitation strategy seminar, it's usually online. There could be cases in which it could be delivered in presence, but this needs to be discussed with the experts if this is the case, and there is a specific need which needs to be discussed as well with the Commission first. There is any training workshops on impact section available for coordinators that are preparing the proposal during application process? For sure, there are, but this is not delivered under HRB, which is only for projects who already started signing their grant agreement. But if you have an already ongoing project, you can take benefit of HRB services and then use tips and tricks that we are proposing you, tools and methodologies to submit your next proposal. So this could be a way. Do this service apply to the KICS calls? Yes, if you are funded under an EIT Knowledge Innovation Community call, you are eligible for HRP services. Why service 2 only focuses on one key exploitable result? Is it possible to use the service for the BPD of the project? BPD of the project, guys, the project, it's an entity which foresees several partners and tons of key exploitable results, and therefore, unless you think that the project itself will become an independent entity in future, it makes no sense to have a business plan for the project. It makes sense to have a business plan for the key exploitable results, which are then moved to the market, to the community, or the policymakers, depending on the type of key exploitable results that you will have. The focus is on one key exploitable result, because as you can imagine, there is a lot of effort behind, and then it's a learning, this is a learning experience, and therefore the work done with the experts for this key exploitable result can then be replicated with all the other key exploitable results within the project. Are subgrantees from Cascade funding calls in Horizon Europe eligible? Unfortunately not, as far as I know, but please check if there has been an already replied question in written. There will be for sure. As far as I know, not subgrantees of Cascade funding. They can, their funding project is eligible, and a project group can be created with subgrantees if there are commonalities to be exploited together, and if it makes sense to leverage on the different projects grouped together. Is the BPD service only available if you don't plan to commercialize? That seems odd. It might have missed. No, the BPD service is available for all eligible projects, for the ones who would like to commercialize, for the ones who would like to go to the policymakers or have, SSH type of projects. I mean, as I said, take it in a flexible way. It's business plan development, the title of the service, but this could be actionable exploitation plan in other cases. So do not be stick to those type of definition. Key exploitable results can be exploited in so many different ways. So it could be commercialization and a lot of others. Don't be shy and request the service. You say that this service is not based on a competitive proposal. Yes, I confirm. Are all project coordinators informed about this service automatically? The Commission time to time sends through the funding and tender portal to all the funded projects information about available services. There are a lot of info days and a lot of different ways. So I hope that all the project coordinators know about or will know about. Will the slides of all the presentation be shared? Yes, they will be available in the event page together with the recording. What strategy tip you can give to those who have to do exploitation and business plan for projects that are considered classified confidential? I think I've already answered that question, but as I said, we are masters of the pathway to impact process, and therefore we always find a way to support your action. The extent to which information are shared depends on a project decision, and therefore if you cannot share all the level of information, you will be sharing what you can share and what is needed for service delivery. Do not worry, we are prepared to that. Is it possible to gain advice during the proposal phase? Guys, not. This is not in the scope of HRB. But this is in the scope of other initiatives which are up and running. You can request to the IPR desk, you can request to the national contact points. I mean, there are other initiatives which can support. Or you can take advantage of HRB service delivery and then use what you learn to submit your next proposal. Can projects funded by the various DGs and programs outside Horizon 2020 and Europe apply? Actually, they can be part of project groups. So find eligible projects with whom you have commonalities with and submit together an application to a Horizon Results Booster. Wow, last question. What amount of resources should project expect to commit to use the services? It seems to be quite intense, which may cause problems after projects have ended. In one of my slides, I presented more or less, which is an average time commitment from the beneficiary side. It is time commitment. If you see an added value, it's an opportunity, and therefore I think that collaborating with the experts, it's a win-win type of, approach, and there is some time commitment because you need to collaborate, but if there is an added value perceived at the end of the process, this is an investment on your side. And I'm happy to say that all questions were answered, and
Exactly.
you can find as well all the answers in written, all the informations and presentations and video. So, we just took half an hour more.
Yes, exactly. Thank you very much, Alessia. Thank you. And thank you to all of you for attending this meeting today. From the Commission side, as you said, Alessia, every question was replied in written. But if you have further questions, don't hesitate to contact us in the emails that you will find in the presentations on the event page and on the YouTube site, the link that you have in the YouTube site. I would like to thank you all, and I would like to resume this meeting now, and I like to wish you a nice day. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.